Andrew, Zach, Mike, and Sheldon on board. How's it going, guys?
Great, man. How are you?
Pretty
Hey,
damn
how are
good.
you?
I'm doing good, guys. I'm doing good. So we're just kind of moving up the bill of Rock Lansing, and you guys are next. And I just really want to tell a little bit about the audience, what you guys are about. Um, let's first. I don't know if every metal fan can really describe this. What to you guys does metalcore mean?
It's a hard question. I'm gonna let Zach take this one, honestly.
Uh, I don't know. I guess it's hard for us because we're kind of like I don't know, a hodgepodge of music, I guess. We just kind of go by whatever inspires us in the moment or at the time, whatever we're listening to, really. Um, Metalcore for me personally is just like guitar riffs and whatnot. Um, scale stuff, I guess, if that makes sense.
So like I mean some other kind of metalcore bands would be like Killswitch Engage, Atreyu, Avenged Sevenfold, those
Yeah,
type
see
of
it, and I'm a huge Avenged Sevenfold fan as well as Killswitch.
yeah,
And whenever I explain what we sound like to people, I say you got Kill Switch mixed with Lamb of God mixed with God. I mean, I guess a Treyu or like a Day to Remember type of the syncopation of a lot of things that we do.
Yep.
Um, and
Yeah, I
then
think we
then you
took
got the
like,
harmonizing.
yeah, I think when I explain it to people, we're like a down-tuned metalcore kind of thing because we've taken a lot of our instruments and tuned them down to like a tone that works better with Mike and Sheldon's voice, and it just all kind of came out. We finally found our sound the last year and a half working together. Like we finally can say like we have a sound now.
yeah. I see you guys in 2024 you guys released your EP. Are you guys working on like a full album or what's the next game plan?
I think the next game plan right now, we kind of set ourselves a goal of creating at least 4 to 5 newer songs to add to our repertoire by I think what April, guys, right? And we never really, I mean, we've talked about the recording of these songs, but I don't think we've talked about what do we want to add the EP together with this and create a full album, or do we want to just do another EP, or do we want to release singles? Because in my opinion, I've seen a lot of bands get more noticed by doing singles and
Yeah.
and putting out like 3 4 singles out there, and then you add a couple more songs to that, you can make another EP, or you can keep going and create more. But we kind of we kind of got tired of doing the same set all last year and a half, and we were just like, guys, we need some new stuff. We're getting bored. Let's keep going. So I mean, right now we got what 3 songs so far, 2 that are pretty much concrete. So we're just gonna keep rolling and see what happens until like April time,
Yeah,
or at least until that first show.
a lot of decision making with whether you're going to do an album as opposed to an EP or singles is like a lot of times it comes down to money. And a lot of the bands from around here, like Heart Six and Assume Nothings, like we all talk together, and like a lot of us don't have 15 to 20 grand to put an album out,
Yeah.
and you don't really get a lot of traction anyways doing that, it seems, these days. But when you do hype up a single and get a video done and just keep doing those collectively, like one a month or one every 2 or 3 months, like that seems to be the best route for your wallet and your wallet and for the consumer, it seems.
Well,
I
I
think a
mean it's
lot of it attention spans too.
mm,
For releasing singles as opposed to putting out a collection of songs. I mean, a lot of people, I assume nowadays, don't have a lot of time to sit down and listen to 45 minutes worth of music or from one band, at a time. So,
yeah, I guess I'm the purist. I come up from the album CD days. So I like
Same.
when an
Yeah.
album from start to finish, like it's just exceptional. It's really cool, but I understand in today's state that probably doing singles makes a heck of a lot more sense.
Right. Like we all come from that era of
Yeah.
like new album come out from this band and we're like, hell yeah. Here's the thing. My top band in metal is Lamb of God, and I have not listened to their brand new album. I haven't listened to the whole, but if a single comes out like Memento Mori came out, I was all over it. So like the time you have to go with the times, really. You really do because whatever's
Yeah.
going to grab their attention and
Mhm.
get them to love your music and you to love it and love the reaction to it. I feel like you have to kind of go with what people are wanting.
Yeah. That 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 makes a lot of sense. Um, so like the song Digging In, is that like a personal experience or what was kind of the behind the idea of that song?
I can talk to that if you don't mind. But honestly, it was a really shitty time. It was it was a lot of realizing who I didn't want to be and who I wanted to be, and the things that I've seen other people go through and friends go through when trying to deal with their own mental health. And the funny thing is most people try to deal with mental health, but they don't really deal with it. They just try to cope with it.
Shove it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it a lot of that is about the people around us that are actually taking the brunt of all of that, but not understanding what's happening on the other side of it and still just being there and being there at the end of it. I mean, that's honestly that's what that's all about, you know.
Yeah. That um yeah, it's um that's really interesting. Yeah. So and how did the song come together? Like just do you guys do you kind of start with a guitar riff or does it start with lyrics? How do you guys kind of put songs together?
So
Normally, like Zach is our guy, man. Zach will write guitar parts, bass parts. Like he'll just send us 7 or 8 ideas, man. He's a machine. He'll send us full songs with synth and tracks and everything,
And it gets
and that
overwhelming sometimes.
and that just gets the creative juices flowing, honestly. And then it's really great how we all work together. You know, Zach will come up with an idea, I'll come up with parts to it, or we all add something to it or have an idea. And then usually if the song is like good enough, Mike and Sheldon can write lyrics incredibly fast. I don't know how they do it, but stuff just comes together. Like I want to say, if you maybe you guys can jog my memory, but we wrote one of these songs in about 3 hours one time. We just kept
Oh,
bouncing it back and forth.
that was the real me. When I
Yeah.
had first joined, that was the first song we wrote collectively. And I cheated a little bit and I used older lyrics, but I warped them into the song and kind of reconstructed the whole thing. And then we wrote freaking harmonies to it, which literally just floored me when we first put that together. I think it was a second practice, and we were just like, it was done. We were like literally threw our hands down, like, we're done. Um, and then the one that was recent, that we're still working on, but what was that? Fairweather. That
Yeah.
one that
Yeah.
one definitely came together. I think that was probably the one you were talking about, but also the real me was like that. Um, yeah.
Yeah, we're fortunate in this band. Like everyone is incredibly great at something. Like Zach is a riff writing machine. He's very good at putting synth on things. And just he's the hardest working guy in this band, hands down. And I hate saying that because I bust my ass too. But like that guy, I can't hold a candle to him. I'm very good at promoting and booking shows and doing these kind of things. Sheldon is a workaholic too. Like if I can depend on anybody, it's him. Mike is good at
He's the
everything
brains.
with a computer, writing lyrics, anything we need done, he can do it. You know, Keegan's a freak of nature. He listens to one thing and just can play it. You know, I always tell everybody I'm the third best drummer in our band. Like, we have amazing musicians in this lineup, but collectively, like, everybody as a whole, we are like unstoppable, I feel like, and it's a
And
good feeling.
and lately, Keegan's been stepping up as far as the writing goes as well, like giving out ideas like um the other song, uh Better Days, we just named that one.
Yeah.
Like he was giving you rhythms for that as well, and he would put it in the chat, and I would understand it because he's been speaking to me like that for over 10 years. But everybody else is like, "What the hell is the boom da 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 ba da?" I'm like, it works. And then also the way I sang the chorus of that song helped inspire Zach to write a whole intro for it, which ended up being like a guitar riff on it. So like we're still evolving and finding like not our place but like our strong suits in the band. Like it's still evolving.
That's cool. So do you guys open with Fake a lot? I feel like that would be a great opening song.
That's the last song.
Now we
Really?
close with that.
Yeah.
We
And
It's
actually
a hard hitter.
we
yeah.
open with a song that isn't even recorded. That was a song that came about a long time ago, back in like 2017, 2018.
It was
And
18.
yeah, we just kind of stuck with that. Never recorded it. We just play it live.
It's
And I
got a
think
good
we kind of
intro.
like we agreed, I think, that we just didn't really want to record it because
Yeah.
it's like a secret track almost, but it's never going to be recorded.
Hidden
Yeah.
track. Yeah, that's okay. So is there behind Fake, is there like a story behind that, or is that just in
It's
general?
it's a big fuck you.
Yeah, so Fake is like real personal to me. Like, it's one of the first song I say I kind of wrote it but you know, Sheldon and Mike made it work. But
Oh, you
it's
did write
just
that song.
it's just a big, like, everybody knows these people that go through life and they will lie about every little thing there is under the sun. They'll throw you under the bus. They'll do whatever they got to do to keep these lies going to make them important, and they'll trash you and they'll treat you like crap, or they'll ruin somebody's whole life just to keep this lie going in this fantasy land. And that's what that song is about, is just like a fuck you to those people. And like, we're tired of this shit and we're not going to take it anymore, and we're going to call you out. You know, we're not going to take that shit anymore, is basically what that song is.
Like a House of Cards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So tell me a little bit about like rapid fire, or not rapid fire. Almost over.
That's probably another good one for Mike to
That
tackle.
that that is a good one for Mike. Come on, Mike.
Yeah. So a lot of our songs are written in a very depressive state. Uh, but
We're okay.
a lot of it's seriously about, like, so Almost Over starts with this idea that, people getting yelled at, they're being called names, and these are the things that I went through as a kid, and I know people that have gone through it as a kid. And
Same.
yeah, you build it up over the years, and all of a sudden you keep getting called these names over the years, and you just want to be done with it. And the story really comes out to say that there are people out there that care about you, even if you don't think that's the case. You can be told you're shit all your life, but that's not true. There's always somebody that has value in you. And it's something that I think we forget a lot. And that's why it's called Almost Over, because it's almost over. And somebody comes along and shows that person that there is value.
Yeah. You didn't see it, or um that I don't know. Yeah, you didn't see it. Um, but yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I really like your guys' EP. I mean, I think start to finish, like it's a banger.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot,
Thank
man.
you.
What
Thank you.
so what's your guys' favorite song to play live? Is it Fake?
I don't. I'll. I mean, at first it was. Um, I think. Oh God. I think mine is Separate Me. Mine is Separate Me. It was it's more of a very melodic. I don't know if you heard it. It's one of our two releases that we did. Wasn't part of the EP, but yeah, we just released them and then it was like the way that it was produced and put together, and then with the track behind it and the strings, and then it's like the ending. I literally just want to like put my hands on, and be like, like I'm in church almost. And as weird as that sounds for me, it's a very moving song. That's my favorite. Separate Me.
So it's not my favorite song, but as far as playing it for the crowd, I actually do love Fake because it's one of the few songs that we get the crowd singing it back to us or yelling it back to us. And that just like fires me up, man. Like never would have thought anybody would have sang anything I've ever done. So that's why I like playing that one live.
There were people requesting me to DJ that at a wedding. Like that's how much it moves people.
I honestly don't have a favorite. I love playing the majority of them. There's some of them I'm kind of like lackluster on, but there's too many that I mean, we just have a lot of fun on stage, running back and forth. I mean, Sheldon and I run across and high five each other on the way through, just for the fun of it,
Because it's just we're in the moment. It's just like fuck yeah, dude. Like hell yeah.
We have to write stuff down so we don't forget because we get moving and next song comes along. We want to do the next song. And you got to remember to thank people. You got to remember to to
Sell
talk
your
about the other
merch.
people, sell merch and
Yeah.
things like that. But yeah,
That's where the money's at.
It
yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I wish it was enough.
Yeah.
Something for sure.
The main thing that I look for in bands is I always ask myself, do they own the stage? And that's why I mean I've been trying to get Aaron Jones for like 2 years because
Phenomenal.
I mean I saw him
Right.
at Upheaval last year and I'm gonna say it. They outplayed Seven Dust. I mean, they just did.
Yes.
Like
And that's such a hard thing to do.
they're great. I love Seven Dust. I mean, I'm a huge Seven
Right.
Dust fan.
See,
But
we were there also, and I feel like after Aaron Jones played, like everybody else over there was just like, I don't want to play now.
I mean, it wasn't just him. Like his whole band was
Yeah.
just like all over the stage, and it was just such a high energy show. And I mean, I, I hadn't seen. That's the first time I saw him, and Span was like, he's really good live, and I believe him because Span's not gonna bullshit me, but sometimes you just gotta see it to believe it, and yeah, he was kick ass, and um, even Conquer Divide, I saw him at Havoc Fest, and
Yep.
I was sold. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna book them.
That's one of my biggest points in every band I've ever been in. And thing I've noticed is it doesn't truly matter how you sound live. It's a wonderful thing if you are phenomenal sounding live, but it is about your energy and your presence on stage and your show. If you can grab their attention, I mean, Maria Brink, she puts on this sexy darn fucking production and whatnot within this moment. And it's just
Oh yeah,
like, you don't hardly listen to how simple the music actually is. And you're watching it and you're like, I gotta go see her again. Like, but then you got bands like Ice Nine Kills who put on a full theater production and they're also killer musicians and singers. So it's
yeah,
just that's always been my point to these guys is like, I don't care if you sound like shit during this show. I would love for you to sound amazing, but let's do a fucking fantastic job. But get out there, engage with the crowd, own the stage for that 30 or 45 minutes. That stage is literally yours. Own it, take it. Like, do whatever the hell you got to within reason, but like go out in the crowd to take the stage. And that's always been my thing is perform.
I don't get to go out in the crowd, but I definitely do a lot of awkward dancing and yelling and pointing on the kit. during our whole set.
Come on.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to see Iceland Kills off their first album with Machine Shop.
Oh,
That was
wow.
pretty cool. Yeah. The same year I saw Stabbing Westward there, and I was so giddy because I've always been like a huge Stabbing Westward fan. And yeah,
Dude,
probably. I mean, I don't know. I love the shop. Like it's such a cool venue.
to
And
see Ice Nine Kills at the shop would be killer.
yeah,
Kevin is a genius.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
whether you talk to him that much or not, I know a lot of people don't think he is, but that man knows
he
how to
knows what
run
he's
a
doing.
venue and should write a book about it.
I don't know if you ever noticed this, but his best thing ever is marketing. And what does he do? He gives each band shirts with the Machine Shop on it. And you
Yep.
see it all over, not just America, you see it all over the world
I
because
saw it
there's
in Puerto
bands
Rico.
playing. Right. And you see a Machine Shop shirt and you're like, what the fuck? Like, how have you been to Flint? Like Flint, freaking Michigan. What are you doing there? And you're all the way over here. Like, it's awesome to see that it just takes a simple marketing thing and then people come in and see why the bands are playing there.
By the way, Kevin, if you see this interview, we'd really love to play the shop.
Yes.
I'll do questionable things to make it happen, sir. Just let me
I
know.
think we all will.
Yeah, I mean, over the years, I've seen a lot of great shows there, from like Clutch to Seven Dust. I saw Five Finger Death Punch on their first album for a $5 show.
I've seen Static X there in both Static X's, in both aspects of it. It's amazing.
Probably one of the bands that I saw there that going into that I was like, but at leaving I was blown away was Hurt. I mean, their volume two album is fantastic, and the Lauren, the lead singer, just looked like a man possessed on stage. Like it was pretty phenomenal. I was like, wow, $15 ticket. This was like way more than I thought it was going to be. And
Yeah.
I left there being a huge fan. And I don't think they're really a band too much anymore, but I mean they were awesome. But yeah, the shop's great. Um, it they and I kind of coin a little bit of what we do kind of after them, because they do play like country. They do have some old school like country, like Hank the Third and Shooter Jennings, and like I've seen
Yeah.
those guys there. So
I
I
mean,
kind of say with like,
Kevin does what pays. That's Kevin.
Yep.
Kevin's smart enough to put anyone on the bill that is going to pack that place. Sometimes 2 or 3 times a night, or 2 or 3 days in a row. He'll have the same band there. He just knows what to
yeah.
do.
Well, I mean, I think capacity's like 500, so if you
Yeah.
sell it one, then you add another day.
Like
and
the one Static X show I saw there, they literally made a second date on Thanksgiving Day just because they knew it was going to pack, and the whole thing was sold out both freaking nights for that. And what was it, Wednesday 13 and Dope, obviously, it was pretty great.
I only saw Static X once with Wayne Static, and it was very
Yeah.
memorable because it was at Ozfest 2007,
Oh,
and
okay.
you were at Pine Knob, and there was just people chucking like huge chunks of sod just in the air, and just
I remember
like
that.
there's one point that Wayne stopped, and he was like, "You guys gotta stop throwing sod, or like the show's gonna end and stuff." And that was pretty wild. I was
That'd be
like,
wild to see.
yeah, that was nuts. You just look up and it's like this huge cloud of dust and just like grass in the air, and it was nuts. But yeah, it was that was they were great. I mean, they sounded great live. I mean, that's the only time I saw them. After that, I was like, I'm good. But yeah, I mean, like with Rock Lansing, my kind of stance is like we book anybody from rockabilly to death metal. So I'm not really gonna pigeonhole like what we do. Like, um, if I could, if I could have Reverend Horton Heat, I'd book him. I don't care.
That would be
I think
amazing.
that. What's that?
That'd be amazing.
So I just think good music's good music, and I think also too, by kind of crossing genres, um, you might get people that get turned on to bands that they never thought they would have or would even like. So
I
And
think
I'll
some
yeah,
of
tell you,
our
Bad
best shows have
Flower.
been like cross
Yeah,
genres. Like if you have, you know, a rap artist and a metal guy and a rock band and a, you know, you get them all together, you'll have 100 people from each one of those genres just specifically to check out that one band, but they stick around and for everybody else. So where you would normally have 200 people, you might have 500 people that night. Like I think it's great to have shows like that.
yeah. Max Bar was it was an interesting one. One of our last shows we did there at Max Bar was every single band was nothing the same, but yet they brought their people, we brought their people, and like they stayed, it crossed, it was awesome. And at the end of the night, you know, everybody's like listening to each other's music. It was phenomenal. And by the way, putting Bad Flower on there got me huge brownie points with the
Yes, thank
girlfriend.
you.
So thank you for that. You made her wet. Way to go, Paul.
yeah. I've been a pretty big Bad Flower fan. I mean, they're very, I would say, introspective, and they have a lot of, I would say, controversial songs, in a sense
Yeah.
that like, if you ever listen to Daddy, um, it's kind of like Janie's got his gun in a sense, and um, I don't know. I think that they're talking about things that makes people uncomfortable, but they're okay talking about that, and like mental illness, problems with
Yep.
families,
That's
like
where we go into with our lyrics. I mean, we talk about the uncomfortable shit, not just in our lyrics. I mean, as a band, has brought us together by actually talking about our feelings and our issues and like, ew, feelings like most people. Let's ignore that, shove it aside. No, we like to address the issue in the room, like, and that's I think what makes us stand out too, along with that group is you talk about the hard shit, you work it through the hard shit, and then you share it, you know?
Yeah, I really
it's
like in music these days that talking about mental health now is almost a cliche, which is beautiful because that means everyone is talking about the mental health and how it's important to talk to people and you know that people are valued and are important. And I really love like we touch on that too when we play shows and almost everybody we see touches on that stuff. So I love seeing that people care. I love seeing the empathy of the world, man, through music of any genre. Really, it's important to me, and I think it's really cool.
yeah. I guess for me, like music has always got me through like hard times, and
Yes.
it's always like helped, and that's probably why I'm so passionate about music. And yeah, I mean, I have ADHD is probably how I look. You probably could assume that, and I have my own struggles with that. And some days I'm just a moody son of a bitch, and my wife does not like me. So well, you got to work through those and just yeah, it's
That's where I'm at with my girlfriend. She just got diagnosed with ADHD and they're starting to get on some meds and whatnot. She's like, oh man. So we start talking about it because I've been dealing with it for since I was, I don't know, 8 at this point, and so I like help her cope and whatnot. So we're very open about that. And I just like when people are very open about their thoughts, their feelings, what's going on, and don't hold it back. I mean, if we have an issue, say I don't know, me and Andy had an issue a while back, and I just said, dude, we gotta fucking talk about this shit. Like, you're pissing me off, I'm pissing you off. And like, let's fucking get to the facts of like, what is it? What was said? What's ticking you off? And I think if the world did that a lot more often, I don't think we'd be in the, crisis that we are in society right now.
I think that's the special thing about our band is like we truly are brothers, and like I mean that. Like all of us, we have a little bit of tiffs here and there, but like nothing. We always stop and talk about it. It doesn't matter
Band of
what
brothers.
happens.
nice.
Um, we're just we all truly love each other. Every time we leave practice, it's a hug and I love you, man. You know, and like we treat everybody else like that on this planet. You know,
Couple of
we
butt
all try to
touches
be
in
good
there.
to everybody.
Well,
Yeah, there's a couple of butt touches in there after we leave practice too, but
well, I mean, why can't guys be vulnerable? Like what like what's wrong with vulnerability? It doesn't make you look weak. You're just being real, how you feel and stuff. And um
you
Well,
guys
that's
want to
kind
have
of
a
like
session right now?
That's kind of like the song "Almost Over" is what Mike was getting at.
Yeah.
Is like we all grew up with. I think most of us grew up with parents that are like, don't be a pussy, which is, don't cry, don't do this, you're a disgrace or you're this or that. And like through therapy, thank God, most of us have went to therapy. And, I have kids of my own, Zach's done some sobriety stuff, and like all of us have become better human beings through therapy and various other things. And now we're okay. Like we all tell each other it's all right to cry, it's all right to have a bad day, it's all right to have a mental day, but we're all here to talk, we're all here for everybody, and however we got to cope, man, we all just get through.
Yeah,
And
I wish I could see a glimpse of the absolute before I joined, because I hear so many stories of how Mike and Zach were so vastly freaking different, and now I
It,
just
it
know
was
it's crazy.
it was dysfunctional for sure. Like I had a lot of substance abuse issues, and I didn't talk to Andy for, what was it, like 2 years?
it was a
We
while.
didn't talk. We had a falling out, and it was mainly to do with my substance abuse, and I wasn't seeing it. Um and I quit the band, and because I viewed it as everybody else was the problem, not me. You know what I mean? And once I stopped drinking, which I'm coming up on 5 years sober now. So
And a
Congratulations.
Awesome, man.
boy.
Um, thank you. Once I stopped drinking and kind of analyzed myself and started the healing process for myself, like, everybody else around me could see that I was becoming a better person. And kind of me and Andy started talking again and started talking about our feelings. Hey,
Aw.
this was the issue, and how do we work it out? And yeah, I rejoined. Well, it was 2 years later.
Did you guys win the homegrown throwdown last year? Or
Sure
is that
Yes, we
did.
did.
Yeah.
yeah? And what was the? Can you just tell a little bit about that experience?
Well, we went into it without a care in the world. We just entered
No
in like,
expectations.
and then no, okay, yeah, not okay, I said that wrong. Yeah, it was no expectations. We cared. Like we went all, I mean, Andy, Jesus, Andy and Mike, I don't even know how many tickets y'all sold collectively or individually, but they just all of a sudden just kick some ass selling, and we all know what it's about. It's the popularity and it's about selling tickets. But
Hmm.
not only that, but we went into it and all of a sudden we won that first round and we're like, no fucking way. We actually have a shot? And like, this is what, not even a year into playing together, like playing shows. We were from June the year before and then
Yeah.
entered in and then started in January. And all of a sudden we're like, oh, maybe we can do some shit. And then we took it seriously to the finals. And I was just, I couldn't believe my ears when I heard Terry say that we won. It was, I mean, just the third and second lineup, who won those did surprise the hell out of me how that lined up too. But yeah,
Thing I'm proudest about, Paul, is like about 3 years ago. I'm gonna say it's my idea, but it was actually Mike Genzel's idea. Um, we decided we wanted to be a better band, so it's playing to a metronome. It's playing within ears. It's having the backing tracks and having stuff just to make us sound like as professional as we possibly could. And we went, and I say it was 3 years, but I think we really got after it like 2 years ago. We just buckled down, and then when Sheldon and Keegan joined our band, man, we really like put it together and just really homegrown throwdown kind of like put a stamp on like the hard work we did. Like, okay, because then we had people, even after we played Up Evil, like we had Sonny from POD telling us how badass our band sounded, and to have a hero of mine from when I was a kid telling me that he loved the way our band sounded was amazing to me.
The fundamental elements of Southtown. I had that album. It was great. I
Yes.
love POD. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's really cool. I'm excited to see who wins this year's homegrown throwdown, and we're adding them to the bill and stuff. So
Yeah, Sheldon and I have actually, between Sheldon and I, we've been judging almost every single round. So
And we're on
Cool.
the finals.
What's that?
Oh, we're judging the finals as well, or the homegrown throwdown.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I haven't had a chance yet to make it out to it, but I'm hoping to make it out to a couple, if not at least make it out to the finals. But yeah, it's I think it's really cool. I mean, I think it's good giving bands an opportunity, and you know, that was kind of like for the kickoff show. You know, it was and that's the Kilo 6 studio isn't that big, and it was like 15
yeah,
dudes in there. And then
we've been in there for an
Kristen,
interview. It's kind of tiny.
yeah, and then Kristen from Conquer Divide was there, and it was cool, and the whole time like Span and Afonso were just busting each other's balls, and it was just
Oh
cracking
yeah.
me up. But that because I told Terry then that there's a band that's dropping, and that's kind of how you guys came on board. He was like, I think you emailed Andy, I think you emailed me, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pull the trigger, and that's kind of how you got on this year's bill. It's just
Yeah.
crazy how many people are still emailing like every day,
I
and I'm
bet.
like, the lineup's done, man. The lineup's done. So
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I missed it originally or if you just picked all of your bands and didn't have like auditions per se or submissions, but
no,
I'm
I
just
I,
a
I didn't
I'm
do
just a hungry guy, man. I'm just very hungry. If think we have an opportunity, and like it's very important to me that if we could get on your show, you know, I was born in East Lansing, man, so and I grew up not too far away in a town called Leslie, and like being around Common Ground and being around your festival last year, I just very much wanted to be a part of it because I think it's amazing for the community. You know, it's just good overall.
It's funny you grew up in Leslie. I grew up in Olivet, so we played Leslie when I was in high school. So
You guys, you mean you drug our asses? You guys always killed us in football.
I played football. I played basketball, and everyone beat us except for Lansing Christian. We would maybe beat them once in a while. But yeah, but yeah, in football, yeah, for sure. Outlet was pretty good at that. But
Absolutely.
uh, last thing I want to do kind of I started doing it's kind of rapid fire. I say two bands, and you kind of just shout out like which one you like more.
Cool.
So we're gonna start with the ultimate question, Dio or Ozzy?
See, I'm a Dio guy, man.
Dio.
Dio.
Oh, yeah.
Ozzy. I'm
Oh,
gonna say Ozzy.
Oh, boo you.
I got Motorhead or Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper.
Motorhead,
Alice
man.
Cooper.
Lemmings God.
Killswitch Engage or Avenged Sevenfold.
Kill switch.
Oh,
Sevenfold.
Kill Switch, not even close.
Sevenfold.
Avenged Sevenfold before this newest album.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
I'll give you
I would
that.
agree with that, and the last show was not great.
Mm.
Moving on. Slipknot or System of the Down?
Mm.
Which
Slipknot.
era? Slipknot.
I'm gonna say Slipknot.
Okay.
Close.
Yeah, it's very close. It's hard.
What about Tool or Dream Theater?
Tool.
I'm gonna say Dream Theater because I've seen Dream Theater live. So
They're phenomenal. They're both phenomenal.
yeah.
I can't
Judas
stand
Priest or
Mike
Iron
Portnoy.
Maiden?
Judas Priest.
What was the last one?
Judas Priest or Iron Maiden?
Oh,
Neither.
I'm really not a fan of either.
Oh,
I don't have
Judas
a preference.
Priest.
A Metallica or Slayer?
Metallica.
Slayer.
Metallica.
Thought a good couple.
I don't even
Metallica.
like Slayer, but I don't like the members of Metallica. So, like, I don't know. No preference.
Me and Zach got guest listed for Metallica, so we have to stick with our Metallica boys.
Yeah, that was cool.
And the last one and the most important, MC5 or the Stooges.
I'm
Sorry,
an
what?
MC5 guy, man. Detroit, man.
MC5.
Oh, MC5.
I guess MC5.
All right, well that is a wrap. Thanks guys for coming on, and I enjoy the time. And you got, if anybody wants to see more of these guys, you see them at Rock Lansing 2025, May 10th.
Hey, man, thanks for having us, Paul, man. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Paul.
you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.